Welcome, everybody, to Stride Forward. This is the new Start Standardbreds podcast, where we're going to bring you a little bit behind the organization, especially because we're growing so quickly, and we want to share a little bit more with you in a little bit of a different way. So my name is Kimberly. I am the founder and current president for New Start. This is going to be my fabulous co-host throughout all of this. This is Christina.
Hello, I'm a board member with New Start Standardbreds and have been with them since January.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about how New Start got started, how we expanded into the Maritimes, which is such a big thing these days, and some pretty important horses that we have going on. So a little bit about me and a little bit about how New Start started. So I grew up in a family that dabbled in harness racing, mainly as a hobby. We did it right from breeding, raising them, right to the racing part. But when the government canceled the Slots at Racetracks program here in Ontario in 2012, at that point, my grandparents were older and they said, we can't do this anymore. So at that point, they got out of it, got rid of all of their horses. I ended up keeping one of those horses as one of my riding horses, and I still have her to this day. That was 15 years ago almost now. At that point, back in 2012, I was just going to college, so it wasn't like I was going to be able to continue taking it on. I had other things in my future at that point. About 10 years ago, so about 2014, not too long after that, I got involved with an adoption program here in Ontario that was taking standardbreds off the track and placing them in new homes. At that point, seeing these horses excel and find their families was very rewarding for me. I was at a point in my life where I was looking for a purpose, and that gave me a purpose. It was a beautiful thing. And so I was with that organization until 2019. At that point, I took a step away to take some time for me. There was some interpersonal conflict and just some changes going on, except into 2020, I almost daily was getting messages from owners, from people looking for horses, because they were asking if I knew anybody or if I had any connections. And at that point, that's kind of how New Start started, between myself and one of my very close friends who had been on this adoption journey with me for quite a while, in Jasmine. We sat down and kind of discussed it and said, if we're going to do this, if we're going to keep it pretty small, it's pretty funny now. But we wanted to help people because people were asking us for help, because we had been doing this for a while and we had some of the connections. We honestly really never expected New Start to grow the way that it has. The success that it has had has far outreached anything that we ever thought it was going to become. We've been able to look at so many different avenues that we never thought possible in ways that we could expand this program and reach people and help people, especially here in Ontario. There's a lot of challenges that hinder organizations like ours in their ability to grow and really have a foundation. So what we've been able to do has blown my mind, and this is just year 4. And I think that's extremely crazy, and I'm so thankful to everybody each and every day that has helped make it grow. And one of the biggest things that we have looked at and that we've done right from the beginning is we run a transparent program. A big thing that we really want to push is, if you have a question, ask us. We're happy to give you an answer. We're going to be as honest as we can. We're going to be as open as we can. We're human. We're not perfect. And our main focus is that we're going to help anyone and everyone who needs it, whether that's horse or human. We're never going to say no to anybody. So that's what we do. Say no if you don't pass our adoption application program. But if you need help with other things, that's what we're here for. So the next part of this segment is one of our rescue horse features. So for our very first podcast, because we are currently actively fundraising for him, we are going to focus on Ultimate Art. So Ultimate Art is a 16-year-old gelding that unfortunately found himself a couple weeks ago in a kill pen in Kansas. Now, he was born in the Maritimes, and his last registered owner also currently lives in the Maritimes. However, Art did all of his racing in Ontario. So he's a Canadian boy that absolutely fits our mandate, and we definitely said yes to helping him. So I'm going to let Christina talk a little bit about how we got there, where we're at, and what we have left to do.
Yeah, so Ultimate Art, his bail has been raised, and because he was in Kansas, we moved him closer to Ontario for shipping home. So we did raise an additional $500 in shipping. So he is currently quarantining in Michigan. He has about 2 weeks left, roughly, to continue his quarantine, and then he'll be able to come back to Canada. We are currently working on a raffle right now. We have raised his bail, his quarantine, and the majority of his shipping, as well as his vetting and paperwork to come back. So this final fundraiser we're doing right now will get him home. And we do currently, we believe, have a foster offer for him right in Ontario, where he spent most of his time. So we'll get this raffle buttoned up, and then he will have all of his funding to come back to Ontario and hopefully find a permanent home.
We're so hoping. We haven't seen any video on him. We've just seen some pictures, so we're not quite sure where he's at, physically, but he looks okay in the pictures. He seems to be gaining weight. I know that
Yeah.
quarantine has said he's behaving well, and that's all we can ask for at this stage. So,
Yeah, he doesn't look to be in terrible condition. A little thin. He definitely needs some groceries and a little bit of TLC, but he doesn't look to be terrible.
and that's not a huge surprise, especially coming where he came from. We're very used to seeing him kind of needing a little bit of weight and a little bit of TLC, but sometimes time heals quite a few things. So that's what we can
Definitely.
hope for.
Fingers crossed.
So I guess talking about that, it's going to lead us a little bit into talking about how New Start has expanded into the Maritimes and kind of the whole thing came about, because this isn't something that's brand new. This is obviously something that's been happening for a number of years, but 2024 has kind of been blast off year for it, and it's blasting off in a very big way. So in 2021, we actually started partnering with Rescue down in the States that pulled a lot of these horses out of kill pens. And from that partnership, we were collaborating to facilitate the adoptions to horses that they had pulled out of kill pens for homes here in Canada. What that meant was those homes could have been anywhere. And it happened that quite a few of them ended up in the Maritimes, Christina being one of them, actually. And that's kind of where it began, just facilitating those adoptions. And they were kind of what we considered outliers, because at that point, obviously, our program was in Ontario, but we did facilitate those and did kind of check in with those horses and make sure that they were safe and approve those adopters for that rescue here in Canada. It kind of really became a bigger vision in early 2023, kind of the end of 2022. Because we were asked to help a Maritimes favorite horse, Ebb and the Boys, Evie and the Boys, however somebody wants to say it, I'm not sure, take your pick. Thanks in huge part to the Maritimes, they raised all the funds for that boy. He was in terrible shape coming out of a kill pen, but unfortunately a home offer in the Maritimes didn't come about, so he actually came back to us in Ontario to one of our foster programs. And he now is adopted, living his best life. He has totally recovered from his soundness issues and his injuries, and he was in terrible weight. He's beautiful, he's healthy, he's happy, which is all that we can ask for. Out of the success in helping him, Sandra approached me and asked about setting up kind of a group in the Maritimes that could help expand New Start's reach out there, because it was clear that, there was needed more boots on the ground. Obviously, a little bit of help was needed. So that kind of started. And then in 2024, Christina actually applied to be on our board of directors. And when she was voted in, we sat down and we kind of had a conversation and said, like, this Maritimes part, we need a little bit more expansion. There's very clearly a growing need for help, for people to place their horses. We're seeing a growing number of Maritimes horses, unfortunately, ending up in situations that aren't so great. because there hasn't been an alternative or for a very long time. And so that was when we sat down and said, like, let's make this a reality. And it has definitely blasted off. I'm shocked at how quickly it's grown, but I'm not at the same time, because the Maritimes is such a small area that it's very tight knit.
Yes.
So in ways that Ontario is so expansive, and then we see tight knit in certain communities here in Ontario, the Maritimes as a whole is so expansive. Um, in saying that, our program, in meeting both of those, has also had a pretty good expansion into Quebec, which is really nice. So we've really been able to take over this entire east area of Canada and be able to offer an opportunity for people to adopt standardbreds that maybe didn't have the connections to find one before, but love the breed or want to take a chance on the breed, and give owners kind of this opportunity to have a group that can assist, that could do it, that has the experience and can do it safely. And I'm knocking things over, but that's okay. Be able to bring everybody together and give people this opportunity. Now, that does not mean we are expanding out west, one expansion at a time, please. My heart can only handle so many. But yeah, and I guess the one little rumor that I want to put to bed is that New Start is not, and the Maritimes program are the same. Lots of people seem to believe we're different, but we are one big happy family. And I'm so grateful for Christina for taking this on and becoming my right hand to be able to be the boots on the ground, because that was kind of a big thing that we ran into, was that we're in Ontario. How do you really get out there in the Maritimes without getting on a plane and getting there? So it's been wonderful. It's going to continue to grow. I'm so excited, and I'm going to let Christina take it away to kind of talk about what 2024 is going to hold, and what we might see in the future.
We're hoping for a lot of fun things. We have had a lot of success already this year. With Mr. Bob Lewis was kind of our first exposure. At the time, we were still fairly new in a small group, but we were playing a part in getting him back to safety, and he is home and living his best life. Jace messaged me today that he was going to be turned out with his herd and his old race mates today. So that would be, I was waiting for that video. That's going to be exciting. We've adopted out Rhea Blue Chip, and we've also adopted out Rock, who is there. So both horses that have come from, one being a broodmare and one off the track and out of retirement, both given a second chance in career, right within the Maritimes, which is really nice. And we have Extreme Measure fully funded. His quarantine ended today, and he is due to be picked up this week in Pennsylvania, and he's going to come back and do a little bit of a rehab or a foster situation with Andrea and George Renison right in Truro. So make sure you get your adoption applications in for that boy, because he's going to be a looker. And Ultimate Art. So we've had a lot of success, and we're looking forward to more. As far as functions go, we have Equine Review coming up in May. We've had a lot of great donations towards some raffles and stuff that we will have at that event. And hopefully we will be able to raise some funds towards our base funds, which will come in handy with the fosters that we have, adoptions, transporting, emergencies of the horses currently in care. And Truro Raceway in June has given us our special day of fundraising, and we've had quite a few people come forward that want to contribute to that fundraising day as well. One lady wants to sell flowers and plants at the track that day, so that's really cool. I'm going to be broke when we come back, but I'm really looking forward to that day. But yeah,
That's amazing.
It is, and like you
Not
said,
the broke part, though.
no, that my
Very,
husband that won't be good, but
it happens.
for sure, definitely, especially when you have 4 horses, it definitely happens. You said about us being a tight knit place, and I wanted to go back to that a little bit. The Maritimes are one big family too, and it is, even being a Maritimer, I never expected that we would fully fund 2 horses within a month. Just and zero issues in doing so. So thank you to everybody who has really jumped up here. And if you
It's
have,
amazing to see all of the support, both
it really
from
truly
the
is.
track and off the track.
And it's not just the Maritimes. I mean, we've shared Maritime horses in Ontario. Look at that raffle that we just did, the third raffle. That was an Ontario horse, Lightning Charger, and a Maritime horse, Ultimate Art, together. And that was a big collaboration between both places, the Maritimes and Ontario. There was no prejudice. Everybody chipped in. It was a great raffle, and it was a lot of fun. I can't say I'll do it again between two pages like that, but it was a lot of fun. Um,
We
but
have
it,
some great supporters, honestly, in everywhere, and it's wonderful to see that nobody's picking a location. They want to help a horse, and they know that we're going to do right by them, and that means a lot to
it
our
100%
supporters because
does.
they're giving us their hard-earned money in an economy that doesn't want to share a whole lot. So I mean,
No,
we
it's
love to
it's
see
tough for
it, and we
everybody.
love every dollar because it
Yeah,
all goes a long way.
it definitely does. So everything's appreciated. These raffles and stuff. I've been really weave between both pages have been really brainstorming on some new ideas. So there's just not $5 Fridays or just 50-50 raffles. Like there's something this new one with Brits Custom Creations towards Ultimate Art shipping. It's kind of geared to everybody. There's dog leashes and there's harness pieces and there's halters and lead lines. You don't have to be any specific, sport in the horse industry or even like horses. Well, I hope you like horses if you're following our groups, but if you don't, there's something for everybody. So it's been a lot of fun coming up with different ideas. It's been challenging sometimes, but who doesn't like a good challenge once in a while? But it's 2024 should be a really good year. We've got a couple, like I said, equine review and churro coming up. Our focus, I guess, is to try to get some base funds. We'd really like to get some adoptions out here. Don't hesitate if you see a horse on www.newstartstandardbreds.com, even if it's based in Ontario, Quebec, Nova Scotia, wherever. There are always trailers going, and we have some really great guys that help us out with shipping, and they give us great rates. So if you see one you like, don't hesitate to put your application in for sure. So we'll work on some fosters and some adoptions. Hopefully there won't be too many horses popping up in the pens. And if
You've
you
just
have a
jinxed it now.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Every
If you,
time I say not every time I say this is the last one for a while, there's usually ends up being four more right behind them. I have learned my lesson.
I think we
You
did that like
never say hopefully not.
I think when Extreme Measure popped up, I said, "Wow, that was a lot," and hopefully that doesn't happen again. And what was it? 3 days later, Ultimate Art was ready to go right there. So um, that will be our main goal: is to get some home set up so that when these horses come up, we can place them right here and you can see the shipping. And if we can't, then we'll find homes wherever somebody really wants to love them. But if you have a horse that you would like to place within the program, whether it's one that you want us to publicly put on the webpage, remember there's a lot of horses that someone gives us a horse and says, I really like you to find a home for this horse, but it never makes a website. So there's just demands for them. If you have a horse and specifically there's a thing that you're looking for in that horse, make sure you fill out an application so we have you on file, because there are horses coming in all the time. Rock, who's there, we had an application right on file for him that we knew was a perfect fit. We did give the opportunity for other ones, but we did come back to the application that was already on file waiting for him in per se. So if you want to get one, make sure you fill out your application and tell us exactly what you want.
We do it here in Ontario, and I am certain that we'll be doing it out in the Maritimes. If you are pre-approved and you're looking for something specific, we sometimes will go looking for you to find them. Um, it doesn't happen near as often anymore because now we are growing so much. Usually those horses are already with us before you get a chance, but I have gone looking for specific horses for people, and I know that we will do it again if we need to, because when you get somebody that wants something specific and they're an approved applicant, um, we want you to find what you're looking for, and so we'll find it, or we'll try, and hope that we can help you because we appreciate that you're coming to us to look, and we'll take that swing at the bat for you to get them. So,
And the same if you're surrendering a horse or you want to fill out an intake form and there's a specific home you want, Rhea Blue Chip, they wanted specific home for her. We found that home for her, and we will make sure that we do right by you and by those horses.
Absolutely. That's our focus is on not only the horses being happy and healthy, but also our adopters being healthy, I guess. Happy and healthy. Absolutely. But happy for sure. And our owners that are asking us to place horses for them, we want you to be happy. So that is our goal. And that does not change wherever, no matter the location, because we are one big happy family.
We are.
One of the great things that we want to focus on in this podcast is some of our doctors. Now, we are doing this a little bit on the fly because it was kind of an idea by the seat of our pants. So today I'm going to focus on a horse that we actually posted an update on not that long ago, but we want to make sure that you see it. So today our focus is going to be on Slip Into Glide. So Slip Into Glide is a 16-year-old trotting bred gelding who was born in Mount Pleasant, Ontario. He went on to have a 259 start race career with 56 wins and over $780,000 in earnings. Glide has been adopted and he is doing fabulous. So I'm going to read a direct adoption update from his adopter because I think that it's going to resonate more with you when you hear it in her words. So December 5th, 2022, the worst day of my life. I lost my best friend, my partner, my heart. At only 10 years old, my Standardbred gelding Rocco was suddenly taken from me. I met him when he was only a few days old at the farm where I worked with weaning, prepping them for the yearling sales. From the beginning, we had a special bond. I knew the only way to fill that huge void was to find another big goofball of a Standardbred. Thankfully, Kimberly suggested Slip Into Glide. I'd seen him on the website, a very handsome man, but the mention of colic scared me away for a while. At the beginning of January 2023, I went and I looked at him, and all I can say is that he had me as soon as he started flopping that big old tongue around. We picked him up on January 7th. While I always miss my boy Rocco, Glide, or G-Boss as I call him, has certainly helped to heal my broken heart. He's a total character, is absolutely into cuddles and grooming, and loves his carrots. He always tries so hard to do what I asked. He switched to undersaddle work with no issues, and has improved so much already. When he first arrived, he was jumpy and would get quite worked up if I walked him to an unfamiliar setting. Last fall was trust in me, and with that one eye, allowed me to safely navigate him through the trail with trees under saddle. A big step for him. I absolutely love and adore him with all my heart, and I can't wait to see what the next year together brings. And I'll tell you, the very first time that I read her update, I cried. This happens a lot. Apparently, I'm a very emotional person. Every time I get a chance to read and see these updates that our adopters send us on their horses, a lot of them have a story. And I love it. I love being able to share Glide and Melanie's story with you. And I look forward to sharing more stories just like this in the future, because I really think you need to hear them, because there's a lot of these adoptions that maybe you don't realize just how important they are for the people as much as they are for the horses. Mm-hmm. So that is our adopted update for this session. Yeah, that.
That was a really good one.
I was like, I'm going to just read it as is, because I feel like maybe people will send us those stories.
But we live that every day too. Besides being board members and all of these things, I mean, I've got 4 of these guys in the backyard. 2 out of Pennsylvania have a kill pen. Homer J, who, I mean, like you just said, was a big winner. And Colin. Colin's turned 32 years old next month. We live these stories. Every one of these horses, Hooch has a story. They all have a story. And and I don't know, man. I have a kid. I have an 8-year-old boy, a human skin child. I think I tell more stories about my horses than I do my skin child. Like, it's just, you're busting at the seams to tell. But they're so
we won't tell him that, though. He's still the apple of his mama's eye.
He knows.
So another one of our big focuses that we want to bring to this podcast is a focus on those who help us be successful. People, businesses. We couldn't do this without the support of some very important people that you may not realize we consider them family. I don't know if they'd call us family. They might call us annoying sometimes. But we wouldn't be able to do this without them. And so it wouldn't be our very first podcast if we didn't talk about a huge piece of what we do in the rescuing of the horses out of the kill pens, and that is their ride home to their next start. And next start, yep, that.
New start.
Mm-hmm. What's it called again?
New start. Stride forward. Stride forward. New start.
All
Hey,
right,
we
I'm gonna
told you it
start
was
it over.
raw.
What's that?
But we said it was going to be raw and real, and we're only human.
Yep. Next start, new start. Yep. I'm forgetting. What is my name again? I can't remember. But yeah, so back to where I was. Our focus today, obviously, I couldn't pick a better one, is going to be on Dale Devine. So Dale is a long distance shipper. He is commercially licensed, and he ships all of our horses from down in the States back to Ontario. He doesn't do the Maritimes. We'll touch on them another day. They'll get their time in the spotlight. Sit down, boys. So Dale is literally, we wouldn't be doing this without him. I've said that 1,000 times. He's probably extremely annoyed hearing from us by now. However, he is the reason that we can bring these horses back. He knows exactly all of the paperwork. He knows exactly every single person in the world. I don't think I've ever said somebody's name that he doesn't know who they are. And he takes immaculate care of these horses. He treats them, these horses are not, fancy. A lot of them are not in great shape, and he treats them like they are $1 million winner every single time. And him and his team, we are so thankful for them. And anyone, if you are shipping a horse up from the States to Ontario, please contact Dale. Maybe don't tell them that it's from us that we told them to call you, because you probably get tired of hearing about us and from us, but we adore them. What's that?
You might not get a deal.
But they mean everything to us, because honestly, these horses, they wouldn't be able to have these starts if it wasn't for them, and these rides to safety. And it's honestly, I can say thank you 1,000 times, and it probably still wouldn't be enough, as I continue to say that this will be the last one for a while, and then I send 3 more in the next month. So
it's true.
I think every single time I type it and put it in writing when I'm sending a set of paperwork and saying, this is the last one for a while,
I think
then I have to eat.
We've had the conversation in Messenger, and we're like, okay, I'm going to get this horse brought back to Ontario, or I'm going to get this horse moved for you, and then we're going to get it brought back. Mr. Bob Lewis. Mr. Bob Lewis is going to be the last horse I'm going to ask Dale, because he's going to get really busy. Oh, look, Lightning Charger's in there. Ultimate Art is coming back. Oh, Dale's going to kill me. Dale's going to be really mad. Sorry, Dale.
Yep. Just so you know, I got 4 right now that I'm about to send the paperwork on that, dear God, I'm so sorry. But
it's not the Maritimes, Dale. It's not our fault. It's all Kimberly.
But yeah, definitely, at least none of them are coming to me. Okay? Like, I live in the boonies, and I think he's getting really tired of coming here. So, none of these ones are coming to me, so we're good. There's no extra washing needed because I live on a dirt road. We're good. They're staying on paved ways. We're okay. But I think I shouldn't say that. But no boonies. No boonies. They are all in, populated areas. That's all I know. We're good.
Paved roads, paved. Lots of pavement.
No dirt and potholes and everything else. No, we're good. We're good. But yes, so if you are looking to move your horse from the States to Canada, if you are doing distance, if you need anything, I also know that they are recently doing international imports as well. So if you are bringing something in from overseas, God love you, because my bank account would cry. However, they're doing that too. And seriously, reach out. You can find them on Google. Yep, that. They have a website. You can email Dale, daledevine@hotmail.com, and get in touch because, like I said, honestly, the horses couldn't be treated better, and no, there is not a better person in the world than Dale to be able to do this kind of thing, and it's, again, so appreciated. And all the joking aside, he never hesitates, even when we send a mass list to Crazy or I'm sending horses to Timbuktu. So an absolute gem of a human being, and that's probably the last thing that he wants to hear that he's being called, but I don't care. So now we're going to talk about something that is pretty exciting to me, and I hope that it's exciting for everybody else too. So I'm going to talk about our Reinventing Racehorses Trainers Challenge. So get ready for the thrill. We're going to introduce you to it. Be excited. Be excited like I am. I really, really want this to turn out well. This has been a dream of mine for years. I really, really hope that it takes off and it brings to light just how amazing these horses are. So we are pairing 4 talented trainers. Now, these are not necessarily professionals. This could be our adopters. This could be anybody that thinks that they have such a love of this breed that they want to give back, and they also want to possibly win something pretty cool. So we are pairing 4 trainers with 4 Standardbreds for a 60-day training challenge. These trainers, they'll work their magic, transforming these racehorses into well-rounded athletes to be ready for a new career beyond the track. So trainers will be chosen through a submission process, which is open until the beginning of April. This is to ensure that we kind of pick trainers that are obviously going to balance each other out. We don't want to pick 1 professional and 3 amateurs. That just doesn't seem fair. So after that, horses will be fully vetted before they start this challenge so that we can ensure that trainers are on a level playing field and their horses are all sound and healthy and ready to go. So these horses will then be available for adoption through New Start following the completion of the challenge. People can apply to adopt before the challenge happens. However, you won't be able to take your horse home if you're the approved applicant until after the finale. So the finale is a 4-step virtual showcase. So one of the things that we really talked about was the cost and the time that it would be to bring these 4 together. And what we really want to do is bring the Maritimes into it. So we're going to make a virtual finale. So that way trainers get to stay in their own homes and simply do the videography for it. So judges are going to see the incredible process that is made by these 4 pairs within those 60 days. And that means you will also be able to follow along on their journey from home. You don't have to come to see the finale. You can watch it all online. There will be no limitations on a trainer's location, whether it is Ontario, Quebec, or that was very French of me, Quebec or the Maritimes. And the trainers will have the opportunity to win some pretty cool prizes. So what this means is that you're going to be able to see the journey of these horses right from being not broke to having 60 days under saddle, and we'll really be able to showcase just how smart these horses are and how quickly they can learn. You'll also be able to see the training checks, be able to see the training techniques from the trainers, and maybe incorporate that into your next adoption of a Standardbred. This is also such a huge opportunity to support these horses in new careers and support the adoption process as a whole. So make sure, obviously the big one is, when's it going to be? Make sure that you are saving the date. Trainers will be getting their horses at the end of August this year, and the finale will take place kind of in mid to late October, whatever that 60 days lines out to. This is such a exciting opportunity, and again, I hope that everybody else is excited for it because I know I am. So trainers, right now, we need your applications so that we can pick who is going to lead this inaugural experience and hopefully really make it a success. So your deadline to apply is April 5th. You can find the application on our website, and it's also posted on our Facebook page as well. And again, I want to reiterate, you do not have to be a professional. You can be an adopter. You can be somebody that loves this breed. You can have never trained one before and just simply want to show you off your skills or take on a challenge. You don't have to be a professional. It's okay.
Sign
We
me up.
want you. Yeah, right? I would love to. However, time is a beautiful thing that I don't have.
Mhm.
Um, however, it can be anybody. It can be you. It can be me. Anyone who really wants to show off this breed, or anybody that maybe hasn't worked with one before, this is your opportunity. These horses will be fully vetted before you get them. There will be compensation for their care while you have them. And like I said, the prizes are pretty exciting. It's not only it's monetary, but it's also like actual prizes. And I'm so excited for this. I think it's going to be such an amazing opportunity for this breed. But yeah, I'm crossing my fingers that it's a success because my vision is so beyond just these four. We talked about this before. It would be amazing to see this take off, to see this as a future, to even be done twice a year, where maybe one session it's a focus on broodmares retiring out of their breeding careers, to make one session a focus on rescue horses and what these horses that have maybe had so many challenges in their life, what they can still do. They may not be able to do your heavy showing, but they're going to make in 60 days you can make a very safe and fun, reliable horse, and give these horses a second chance that maybe they otherwise wouldn't have gotten, and they've maybe been overlooked. So I mean, there's so many places that I'd love to see this go. I'm really looking forward to reading the trainer submissions. I'm hoping that we get an excellent applications and number. I hate that in that I don't want to have to pick, but at the same time, it would be amazing to see that people want to show off this breed. And again, if anybody has any questions, absolutely reach out to us. Because there have been a few people have kind of wondered what the finales are like, what the cost is going to be, what the reimbursements are, that kind of thing. And so, absolutely reach out. I think it would be amazing. I'd love to see some Maritimes trainers in there, to give some Maritimes horses a chance to compete in this too. That would be amazing.
Yes, it would.
So it's on our website, it's on our Facebook page. Reach out to any of us. We're happy to answer your questions or direct you in any information that you need. We have not picked the horses, because what we will do is once we have the trainers picked and their areas, then we will go and we will set up making the arrangements to getting a horse that's going to fit. Because if we can save moving the horses a long distance as well, absolutely, that's going to be so much better for them. So that's the hope. Again, I'm crossing every orifice of my body in hoping that this is a success, because I've had this vision for so long, that I probably would cry if it fails. It wouldn't be the first one that did. I mean, that's what happens when you take a chance on something, but I think this has the opportunity to really grow. And I should touch on one big thing that we are still looking for is sponsors. For this, the sponsors will offset obviously the cost of the vetting of the horses, the trailering to get horses to their trainers, the cost of the prizes, and the cost of the care while the horses are in this training challenge. So sponsors are so important. I would love to see some breeders, some trainers, some owners sponsor this to show their support for aftercare and these horses as a next career. Businesses, we've already had a few send us that are giving physical prizes that are going into for the trainer, so that's exciting too. And a couple have given me some gift cards so that we can purchase items for those trainers as well. So it has the opportunity to be something really exciting. So I hope that we can do it. And that's not just me talking, because this has been a vision of mine for about 6 years now, but because I really think for the breed itself, taking a step forward and showcasing aftercare, and just how capable these horses are of new careers in anything. They're more than just a driving horse. And I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to watch these horses show off. And I think when people get a chance to see them show off, they'll be very excited to do it again.
They truly are one of the most versatile breeds there are. And for someone that's an absolute green rider, that you can jump on one of these guys in a halter and bareback and run around the pasture and that thing twice, there's something very special. And for someone, I'm really looking forward to it. And I really hope that it really does take off too, because I can't wait to see what they can do. Like there's a lot of great things in it.
I think so. And it tests a little bit of everything because they're going to do a dressage test. They're going to do some obstacles. There's a small jump course in the finale list, and there's freestyle. And let me tell you, my favorite's going to be the freestyle because I really want to see what these horses can get into and what their trainers come up with to put themselves above the rest. So I'm really excited, and I've probably said that 1,000 times, and I do not care because this is one of the biggest things I'm looking forward to this year is getting this off the ground, and I really hope this is the start of something amazing. And I'd love to see it grow, but we're starting small for obviously a good reason. We run 100% on donations and fundraisers, so we can't exactly go, funding this for 10 15 horses right off the bat. So it's we got to be realistic because the possibility is those 4 horses will then need to land in foster care until they are adopted, and we need to be able to have the spaces and the funding for that at the end of it all too. So that is our focus, and we'll take it one step at a time and hopefully put the building blocks in place to make a much bigger future for these horses off the track. So we are excited. Like we said, make sure that you go to the website, read more about it, send us a message, submit your applications, all of those things. And hopefully our next podcast, we will have some updates on our finalizing of the trainers. So that's exciting. Now, before we wrap this up, because I'm sure you're getting very tired of listening to us talk now, mainly me, we want to feature one of our currently available horses for adoption. And we thought, what better start than to focus on a horse with stride in his name? So today's feature is almost called him by the wrong name because that's where we're at. So today we are going to feature Change Stride N. So Change Stride N is a 13-year-old pacing bred gelding. He was born in New Zealand. Yes, actually the country. And he was shipped over to America to race. He retired off the track at the beginning of March. Unfortunately, he did pull up a little bit sore in his last race, and his owner and trainer made the decision that the best thing for him is to retire. He is sound. He came out of the race really great. He took care of himself. That's what happens with these older war horses. They are so protective of their own bodies. They know when something's not right, and they will slow up and take care of themselves. So that is exactly what he did, and he has set himself up to be able to have a pretty fantastic future. He does have some old, injuries and limitations here and there, so probably going to be best for trail riding and some low-level flat work. He has had his trainer hopped on him this week to see how he took to riding, and he was kind of like, oh, this is what we're doing now? Okay. Typical Standardbred. And off they went. And I will say that these New Zealand horses, they are tough cookies. I have not yet met one that is not a tough cookie, and that is exactly what Charlie is. So he had 258 starts when he raced, 46 wins, and over $725,000 in earnings. He is the epitome of a war horse, and I think he is going to make a fantastic partner for someone. He's beautiful. He is exactly what you'd expect in a Standardbred, and honestly, I'm very surprised he's still available. We've only had him listed a week. I really thought he would go super quick. I have a feeling he's probably not going to last much longer. I'm sure someone is going to see him and scoop him up. But make sure that you run over and get your application in if you haven't already. We are still reviewing a couple applications, and we do have some pre-approved applicants on file, but sometimes it's a location thing. So Charlie is located in Guelph, Ontario. However, if you are in the Maritimes and looking, as Christina has said, we know who to call, and we can make it happen. We have done it before. Charlie is a beautiful horse, and his trainer Taylor has taken such good care of him. He is immaculate, he is beautiful, he has wonderful manners. Obviously, he's an athlete. So he's going to need some time. That's okay. In terms of that, time means he's going to need to just be a horse. Give him a little bit of time. Let him relax. He's all muscle. He is exactly what you'd expect an athlete that needs to turn into a couch potato is. They need a little bit of time. Some food, some love, but somebody's going to get an amazing partner. And yes, he is our feature. I felt it, you kind of thought it was a good idea. It, stride forward, change stride, to the point where I have screwed up how many times the name of the podcast and the name of the horse today. But that's okay. It was all meant to be.
It was fun.
Yeah, exactly. So this is exactly what this is going to be. It is going to be a little bit of fly by the seat of your pants, a little bit of chaos, exactly what you would expect rambling to be. But we're transparent around here, and we want you to know this organization, the people behind it, what we do, more than just what you see on the screen and what we host. We're people, we have lives, we have full-time jobs, we have families, but we really want to be able to connect with everybody that's out there in whatever way we can, and this is just another way to do it. So I know that we probably are crazy. We're probably going to bore you. There may only be 10 people that watch this, and probably they're all going to be related to us, but that's okay. We tried. And you know what? If you watch this and you are not A, related to us, or B, already part of our organization volunteer group, thank you. Please share it. We're begging. Now, where can you find us? Christina, I'll let you take this one.
We are on Instagram, Facebook. We're not on Twitter.
Technically, we are. I just forget that it exists, so don't follow us.
Listen,
You'll never get up to date on anything.
I don't have Twitter. I don't have Instagram, and I don't have TikTok. So I'm getting to be an older lady.
We do have a TikTok. I am trying to do the TikToks.
There.
Not well, but I am trying. We are on there. Follow us and make me feel like I'm getting there. I'm learning the ins and the outs of the transitions and the music and all of these things. So I'm trying. I'm trying the TikToks.
Cool. They're tempting enough to go on there and do that part, but no. But so we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, I guess it's called, TikTok, and you can go to www.newstartstandardbreds.com, the main hub of it all. That will show you horses that are available. That will show you where you can fill out applications to adopt, to foster, intake forms if you would like to provide a horse to us to find a home for, or get us to provide a home for a horse for you, I guess. All those great spots.
And every single horse that we've adopted are listed on that website. Again, transparency. Definitely. And you count the numbers. It has been a little bit obscene. Right now, for 2024, we are on track to adopt out 110 horses.
That's a lot.
That's not going to happen. I know darn well that is not going to happen. We are not going to do that.
I don't know.
No. There will be a slow season. However, yeah, right now through January to March is on track to be 110, which is obscene. I remember in year 1, I was excited if we were going to adopt out 20 horses a year.
I hope you keep this in a little trinket box somewhere so we can come back to it on December 31st and say, I told you.
Yeah. When we do 120 or some mind-blowing number, and we're like, remember when we thought that was never going to happen? It's
Right.
not. I would be, if we hit 50 this year again, I will be happy. Realistic. It's when I'm reminding myself, realistic goals.
Listen, if you can adopt, foster, pull from the kill pen, even like there's horses right now in the kill pen that we're helping get out for other people to come back to old connections. If you can even do that, that's one life that you've saved and one life that you've helped. And that's, I mean, I've only been doing this full time, steady, go, go, go since January in the Maritimes. And just Extreme Measure, Mr. Bob Lewis, Ultimate Art, Rock, who's there, Rare Blue Chip, all of them. There's some sort of a gratitude that fills you for helping them, and it doesn't matter if you do it for 500 of them or if you do it for 5. It's really good, and I'm not going to cry. I will not cry. And you really should not send me any more. I'm really full, so we're cool. We have.
You'll be building a second barn soon.
I've been asked.
It's you're right in terms of the gratitude, and we look at, and you look at our website and the names that are on there, and what's not on there is that New Start, like, we have helped so many more horses with their past connections just get out of situations like this and go home, and we don't want the gratitude for that. We have just simply been the assistants because we've done this. We're helping one right now, and like, we don't want the gratitude. There's no fame and there's no glory in this. What matters is the horses and the people, and that's the only thing that's important. And I think sometimes that's forgotten, that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you never see, because we're not going to post about everything. None of that's anybody's business but the people that we're helping, and to simply post stuff like that, and then you're looking for glory, and that's not why we do it. So that there's a lot that we're doing that I don't think people realize that we're doing, and we just appreciate the owners that have faith in us, the connections that have faith in us, and every single donor and follower and supporter that has faith in what we do. And this is for you guys. And we say we do it for the horses, and obviously ultimately we do, but we get to do this every day because of those supporters, and we couldn't be more thankful. So thank you guys, and make sure that you tune in. This will be a monthly thing. This is going to be a monthly thing. Obviously we don't have the time to do this every week. We'll be 100% honest, but our focus is going to be on doing this once a month, and catching up with everybody, and sharing what we got going on, and across Ontario and Quebec and the Maritimes. And hopefully you will follow along, and if eventually you get bored of us, we might give it up, but our goal is that we're going to run one of these a month for the rest of the year, and see how things go in December, and see if we might do this again. The future will hold. We are going to look at having on some guests, bringing on our other, obviously, team members and our board members, and sharing their stories with all of you as well, because you get to know the people behind the scenes a little bit too. And but also bringing on adopters and people that have sent horses through us, and some supporters as well. So I have also learned that apparently we can sometimes post these live, do some live things. So if you really, really like this and you really, really enjoy it, let us know. We may be able to do some live Q&As, chats, and see what these techie things can be. But for now, this is us. This is Stride Forward, and we'll see you next time.
Good night.